Archangel Michael. A big transfer was scheduled, but 2 people interfered. Open this now. There are no accidents in the divine timeline. When this message found you, the heavens had already begun realignment. A sacred transfer was scheduled in your name. A divine breakthrough. A heavenly transaction. A moment that would shift not just your finances, but your freedom. And yet, in the spirit realm, there was movement, interference. 2 individuals, driven by fear, envy, and spiritual insecurity, placed themselves in the path of what was destined to be yours. Their interference was not coincidence. Their actions were not unintentional. They spoke, they acted, they delayed, but they could not cancel. This message arrives not as a warning alone, but as a revelation. The delay is evidence of how powerful the blessing truly is. Archangel Michael stands now in full authority, in divine command, and in sacred alignment with the heavenly throne, declaring, "Your name is on a blessing, and the enemy has seen it." This is why you felt the tension. This is why strange things have been happening around you. The vibration shifted. The energy twisted. Something sacred was marked for arrival, and suddenly, distractions and distortions appeared. You must understand, this transfer wasn't just financial. It carried with it a spiritual signature, your identity, your assignment, your elevation. It was encoded with promises made over your life. But heaven did not forget. Archangel Michael has now drawn his sword not in threat, but in enforcement. He comes not in fear, but in fire. He comes not to warn you alone, but to awaken you to the truth. This interference is the final sign before release. But you must stay aligned. You must stay alert. You must not return to the ones who questioned your worth. You must not explain yourself to the ones who prayed behind your back but plotted with their mouths. You must recognize that this moment, this precise moment, is where the true test lies, not in whether the blessing comes, but in whether you can hold position as it arrives. And so, with divine urgency, Archangel Michael commands you, open this, watch this, receive this, before it slips again. Archangel Michael speaks now, not as a whisper in your spirit, but as a thunderclap in your soul. He says, be warned. Something is shifting in your atmosphere. The air around you has become electric with consequence. What was once still is now stirring. What was hidden is now exposing. A transfer was written into your story, a divine inheritance, a breakthrough tied not just to your faith, but to your resilience. This wasn't a gift of ease. It was a reward of endurance. But heaven has seen the interference. 2 voices, 2 minds, 2 energies stepped into what they never had the authority to touch. And now, the spiritual realm is adjusting. The time for silence is over. The time to rise in awareness is now. You've sensed it, haven't you? That hot restlessness, that unspoken warfare, the late-night anxiety with numb source, the subtle sabotage disguised as concern. That was not imagination. That was interception. 2 individuals, whether physically close or spiritually linked, have allowed themselves to become tools of delay. This is not to condemn them. It is to awaken you. Archangel Michael says, they moved with intention, but heaven is moving with precision. What they tried to delay will now be doubled. What they tried to block will now be blessed beyond comprehension. But first, you must become aware. This moment is sacred. This warning is not fear. It is favor disguised as urgency. You have less time than you realize. Within the next 24 hours, Choices will matter more than they seem. What you say, what you don't say, where you go, what you pray, all of it matters now. Archangel Michael is present, not merely to alert, but to anoint. His wings are spread, his sword drawn, his voice clear. You are being called into alignment. You are being summoned to attention. Do not ignore this shift. Do not minimize this message. This is not just spiritual. This is prophetic timing. What was supposed to come is still coming, but it must be received with the right posture. And so, listen closely. Watch with your soul, not just your eyes. This is the hour that separates the distracted from the destined. Type "I receive my divine transfer" in the comments now. Lesson code 444 is unlocking financial and spiritual gates. Archangel Michael reveals this now. 2 people interfered. 2 individuals, cloaked in false light and shallow intentions, entered a spiritual contract they never signed. They stepped where they had no clearance. They touched what they could not comprehend. And their energy left an imprint, one heaven had to address. This is why you felt an emotional weight without clear cause. Why your peace suddenly felt fragile. Why your spirit could not settle, even in places that once brought comfort. It is not just because something happened. It's because something was disturbed. And Archangel Michael wants you to hear this clearly. The ones responsible are closer than you think. These 2 people watched you rise from silence. They witnessed your glow begin to shimmer again after seasons of darkness. They smiled in your face, but somewhere between your healing and your hope, they started to panic. Not because you wronged them, but because your alignment challenged their stagnation. They whispered your name into rooms of doubt. They framed your decisions with half-truths. They watched your blessings being prepared and allowed bitterness to bloom in the soil of their hearts. These were not strangers. These were souls you once felt safe with, family, friends, co-workers, even spiritual partners. And that's what makes the wound feel deeper. That's what makes the betrayal feel more confusing. You didn't expect them to be the interference. There's a conversation happening behind your back. A gathering of opinions dressed up as concern. Someone is misinterpreting your silence as pride. Someone is retelling your story with edits they created. They believe they've uncovered something about you. Some reason you should not be trusted with what heaven is preparing. But they have only uncovered fragments. Shadows of truth twisted by their own fear. They do not see the hours you cried in secret. They do not feel the spiritual warfare you endured alone. They cannot comprehend the cost of your calling. And yet, they attempt to sit in judgment of your reward. This is the danger of proximity without discernment. But listen closely, this is not the time to panic. This is the time to perceive. Archangel Michael says, I have revealed this to you not to break your heart, but to open your eyes. This disruption is temporary. This interference is reversible. But you must stop pretending not to see it. You must stop making excuses for those who continue to drain your spiritual energy. It's not paranoia. It's discernment. It's not overreacting. It's revelation. Heaven has sent this message to confirm what your spirit already sensed. You are being watched, not with love, but with resistance. And resistance only comes when something powerful is on the way. This interference could not stop the transfer. It only slowed it. But Archangel Michael reminds you, delays still carry consequences if you are not awake. These 2 people have opened a door, and it is your responsibility to close it with clarity, prayer, and boundary. They want you distracted. They want you doubting. They want you back in the familiar pattern of defending your light. But not this time. Not this season. Not after how far you've come. Archangel Michael says, this interference ends when you decide to choose alignment over attachment. Let them talk. Let them wonder. Let them fall silent when they see the blessing they tried to block now rushing to find you. Type ISE clearly now if you feel the truth in this. Blessing code 999 is realigning what was disturbed by jealous hands. Archangel Michael declares this now with clarity and fire. This isn't personal. It's spiritual. What you're experiencing isn't simply emotional fallout. It's not just gossip, jealousy, or misunderstanding. It is not merely about two people acting out of insecurity. No, this is about your assignment. This is about your alignment. This is about your anointing. What they interfered with was not your reputation alone. They tampered with a spiritual transaction that bore your name in heaven's records. They touched something that carried divine fingerprints. They saw favor preparing to land in your life, and they moved not out of curiosity, but out of fear cloaked in familiarity. And now, the unseen battle rages, not over who you are, but over what you're becoming. You see, light disrupts darkness. Glory agitates shadows. When the frequency of your destiny begins to increase, everything not vibrating at that level starts to squirm. That's what's happening now. Your atmosphere is shifting. Your presence is becoming prophetic. Your very breath is disturbing the ones who wanted you to stay broken, silent, hidden. Archangel Michael wants you to understand this. They are not fighting you. They are reacting to what you carry. The conflict is spiritual in origin and prophetic in consequence. And that's why you cannot fight it with words. You cannot fix it with apologies. You cannot dim your brilliance to soothe their discomfort. There is a reason your peace has been attacked. There is a reason your name keeps appearing in rooms you didn't walk into. You have been marked by God, sealed with purpose, and aligned with divine instruction. But the enemy does not attack empty vessels. The enemy does not send interference where there is no impact. You, beloved, are anointed. You are chosen. You are under divine surveillance and spiritual protection. The more they try to twist your story, the more heaven will reveal your true essence. The more they attempt to delay your elevation, the more acceleration will be your portion. This is the reversal of the attack. This is the spiritual law of compensation. What was meant to shame you will now showcase you. So do not engage them in flesh. Wise in spirit. You are not in a social conflict. You are standing in a prophetic collision. This moment has been ordained. Even the resistance, even the betrayal. For every lie spoken, heaven writes a louder truth. For every curse muttered, heaven sends a louder blessing. Archangel Michael says, they have stirred the fire, but I have turned it into your altar. You are standing in the middle of divine refinement. This is your testing ground. This is your sanctification. What feels like sabotage is actually spiritual separation. The wheat is being divided from the chaff. The loyal are being distinguished from the leeches. And you, child of light, are being positioned for divine display. Archangel Michael doesn't come just to inform. He comes to activate. He comes to protect. He comes to realign. You are surrounded by angels now, not for decoration, but for defense. Your name has been placed on a scroll that cannot be erased by envy. This transfer, though interfered with, is still intact. But you must rise to its frequency. You must take this pain and elevate it into purpose. You must take the spiritual warfare and recognize it as confirmation that your destiny is too powerful to be delivered in silence. Type "I am anointed and protected" in the comments if you receive this. Blessing code 777 is encircling you in divine fire and spiritual armor. Archangel Michael now releases a sacred alarm into your spirit. Prepare yourself. They are planning a move. The interference that began as a whisper has not gone silent. It is growing bolder. What was once hidden in shadows is now preparing to step into light. They are crafting their next step with subtle deception, cloaked as concern. But heaven sees it. Archangel Michael sees it. And now you must see it too, not with fear, but with divine readiness. You are being warned in the spirit so you are not ambushed in the natural. Because what they say next, what they do next, could attempt to disrupt your atmosphere again, if you're not standing in full awareness. There are words forming in their mouths, and intentions dancing behind their smiles. A message is coming. Opposed a text, a phone call. Something designed not to bless you, but to bait you. Something that looks like reconciliation, but smells like manipulation. They are hoping you'll drop your guard. They are hoping you'll question yourself. They are hoping that one seed of confusion will unravel the clarity you've just received. But Archangel Michael says, this is the moment to pause. Do not respond out of emotion. Do not let your peace be pulled back into performance. What they are about to say is not the full truth. It's a fractured version of your story wrapped in their perspective. The next 72 hours are spiritually sensitive. The air around you is vibrating with divine tension. You may feel tired for no reason. You may sense a heaviness you can't name. That is because the confrontation they are planning isn't just verbal. It's energetic. They are projecting energy toward you. They are speaking your name while speaking curses with their breath. They may not even know the full depth of what they're doing. But the enemy knows. The enemy is using their open door of envy as a gateway to launch a final attempt at derailing the transfer that bears your signature. But it will not succeed. If you stay alert, Archangel Michael commands you now to become immovable. Do not chase clarity from the mouths of the confused. Do not seek peace with those who profit from your instability. This interference is not rooted in misunderstanding. It is rooted in misalignment. They are not operating on the same frequency. They do not see your calling because they cannot understand it. They don't see your growth because they never nurtured your roots. They will try to come forward with carefully crafted words and even false humility. But do I fall for it? The same mouth that smiled when you rose is now speaking to delay what heaven already declared. This warning is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to fortify you. Archangel Michael is not speaking to your fear. He is awakening your discernment. He is placing a supernatural awareness in your soul. He is reminding you that just because they know your history does not mean they deserve to be part of your destiny. What they say in the next few days will reveal everything. Watch their tone. Watch their timing. Watch the subtle guilt they try to place on you for choosing peace. It's not about them anymore. It's about staying connected to the divine promise that was almost intercepted. And make no mistake, if you engage incorrectly, you could delay it again. That's how sensitive this moment is. This is not about being nice. This is about being aligned. This is not about closure. It's about protection. The transfer is still coming, but the door must stay sealed. Let your silence preach. Let your discernment shield you. Let your energy declare, not this time. You will not be dragged into low-frequency battles when high-frequency blessings are knocking at your door. Type "I refuse to be distracted" in the comments now. Blessing code 1212 is activating divine boundaries and sharpening spiritual awareness. Archangel Michael speaks with firm compassion now. Do not explain. Do not defend. Do not descend. What you're feeling isn't just anxiety. It's alignment. It's the divine edge between breakthrough and breakdown. And right now, heaven is holding you in suspension. This is the sacred pause before the promise lands. This is the holy hush before the heavens release what was already written in your name. And while the enemy scrambles, while the two who interfered scramble to disrupt the atmosphere once more, Archangel Michael wraps you in a divine stillness and says, "Let your silence speak louder than their noise." This is the posture that protects your promise. You don't need to chase down false narratives. You don't need to correct every twisting of truth. Let them think what they want. Let them speak as they please. Your destiny is not dictated by public opinion. It is forged in sacred obedience. Archangel Michael wants you to remember that stillness is not passivity. It is power. In this hour, your silence is not weakness. It is warfare. It is heaven's way of sealing the door, refusing access to anything or anyone unworthy of your next chapter. The transfer that was scheduled, the blessing that bears your essence, cannot be contaminated by the wrong conversations or wrong connections. So you must guard your words like gold. Stay grounded. Anchor yourself in truth. When your emotions rise like tides, return to the quiet strength that got you here. When memories of betrayal play in your mind, remember that their interference was the final confirmation of your elevation. The ones who moved against you were only allowed to get close because they had to reveal themselves before the blessing could be released. That's not coincidence. That's divine filtration. Heaven used their interference to show you who could not walk with you into the next season. And now that you've seen it, you must act accordingly. You don't owe them proximity. You don't owe them closure. You owe yourself peace. And peace, child of light, requires boundaries. Let heaven fight for you. That battle in the spirit is already underway, and Archangel Michael is standing guard. His sword is drawn. His wings are wrapped around your atmosphere. Angels have been deployed to handle the hidden things. While you rest, they war. While you sleep, they shield. So you must stop explaining, stop doubting, and stop seeking validation where heaven has already given confirmation. The more you engage with what tried to interrupt you, the longer you delay what's coming next. This is your permission to release the urge to fix what was broken by others. You are not responsible for their interference. You are responsible for your alignment. And here is the truth. They wanted your reaction more than your ruin. Because a reaction would give them access. Your reaction would tie your energy to theirs. It would pull you down into cycles you already outgrew. That's why Archangel Michael warns, your silence is your signature. Your stillness is your shield. Let them wrestle with the consequence of dishonoring your presence. You, beloved, are in preservation now. What heaven is preparing to release requires insulation. It cannot be touched by those who carry confusion. It cannot be accessed by those who operate through emotional manipulation. So step back. Stand tall. Let grace speak where words are no longer needed. This is your spiritual instruction. Stay out of the fire they lit with lies. Do not fuel it with your presence. Withdraw your energy from their arena. They will notice. They will panic. But that is not your problem. You are chosen. You are covered. You are calm in the storm because the storm no longer knows your name. Type "I am silent." I am shielded in the comments now. Blessing code 1444 is sealing your energy and releasing divine protection over every next step. Archangel Michael now announces a holy reversal. What was interfered with is being intensified. What was delayed is now being doubled. What was slowed down is now gathering unstoppable momentum. You, child of light, have passed through the fire without burning. You stood in silence while falsehood tried to shake you. You've withheld your power while they tried to provoke you. And because of that obedience, because of that spiritual restraint, heaven is now lifting you into a new level of divine empowerment. This isn't just restoration, it's resurrection. The version of you that they thought they were interfering with no longer exists. You've evolved mid-battle. You've ascended mid-conflict. And they won't recognize who you are now. Let it be known. You are not the same. You are not the wounded version of yourself that used to seek permission to be powerful. You are not the silenced soul that used to second-guess divine intuition. You are not the dimmed-down light they could control with shallow words. Archangel Michael says, you are rising from this interference with fire in your spirit and clarity in your crown. Your vision is sharper. Your atmosphere is lighter. And your energy is no longer available for unworthy cycles. What they tried to stop has only revealed how unstoppable you are. What they attempted to delay has only confirmed that heaven has bigger plans than they could comprehend. Let them look confused. Let them wonder how you remained composed. Let them question why what they tried to block is now being broadcast with glory. Archangel Michael reminds you, this was never about just receiving a blessing. This was about stepping into your throne. You have crossed into authority. The kind that doesn't need validation. The kind that doesn't shrink to fit in. The kind that walks with spiritual royalty even when the world hasn't crowned you yet. You are not just being elevated, you are being established. There is a shift in how the spirit realm recognizes you. Your angels are moving differently. Your prayers are carrying more weight. Your energy is creating ripple effects that heaven is now using to shift entire atmospheres. They can't touch what God has sealed. They can't reverse what heaven has released. And no weapon formed, whether through mouth, thought, or manipulation, can prosper now. Archangel Michael affirms, you have passed the test. You have endured the sabotage. You have stayed in position. Now watch what happens next. The transfer that was interfered with will now come with upgrades. What they tried to slow down will now arrive with velocity. You will receive financial restoration, yes, but also spiritual recognition. You will be seen, known, respected in realms they cannot enter. This is divine consequence turned into divine compensation. And here's what's beautiful. You don't even have to prove anything. The evidence will be your glow. The proof will be your peace. The confirmation will be your consistency. While they scramble to figure out how the interference failed, you'll be too busy walking in favor that makes no sense to them. This is the season where God does the explaining for you. Where your name is spoken in rooms of opportunity you never applied for. Where the things they tried to take from you become the very blessings that elevate you. Because that's how heaven moves. That's how Archangel Michael wars, for those who remain surrendered in stillness. So stand in your empowerment now. You've earned it. You've been refined. You've been set apart. And now, the fire they meant to destroy you has become the light that exposes you in glory. In grace, in divine greatness. Type I rise in power and purpose in the comments now. Blessing code 5555 is opening new gates of authority, acceleration, and alignment. Archangel Michael now brings the prophetic vision to completion. This is your resolution. This is your reward. This is the shift that was written in the scrolls of heaven long before interference tried to erase it. The storm has raged. The betrayal has been exposed. The blessing was delayed. But nothing, absolutely nothing, was lost in the spirit. What was withheld temporarily is being returned with multiplied force. What was sabotaged is now being sanctified. And you, Divine One, are about to walk into a breakthrough so transformative, even you will pause in awe. This is not just victory. This is vindication. The transfer that was scheduled carries more than provision. It carries prophecy. It is not just money. It is not just opportunity. It is momentum. It is divine timing opening like a gate. And now that the interference has failed, now that the enemy has exhausted its tactics, now that the two people who tried to twist the spiritual timeline have been spiritually restrained, the gates are swinging wide open. Heaven says, what was held back is being handed over. What was paused is now being played forward. And this time, nothing and no one will interrupt it. Archangel Michael affirms, this blessing has passed through fire, and because of that fire, it now comes with fireproof favor. Someone will come forward with the truth. Someone will admit what was hidden. A confession will unlock peace. Or perhaps you will never hear the apology, but heaven will send closure in ways you did expect. A door will close so loudly, you will know it wasn't yours to begin with. But another door, larger, grander, spiritually charged, will open in divine sequence. This is the kind of opening that doesn't require knocking. It requires readiness. Archangel Michael says, stay ready. Stay clean in your heart. Stay light in your energy. Because what's coming is sacred, and it cannot rest where bitterness still lingers. Peace will arrive not with noise but with stillness. In a conversation that surprises you. In an email that changes your week. In a check that arrives with your name on it. In a divine meeting with someone who recognizes your light and rewards it without conditions. This is how the resolution unfolds. Heaven's version of justice is not revenge, it's restoration. Heaven is not interested in punishing your enemies. Heaven is focused on positioning you so high that their whispers become echoes you no longer hear. Their interference becomes dust under the heels of your acceleration. Their delay becomes the divine setup for a more impactful unveiling. Archangel Michael wants you to know. You are no longer in the season of questioning. You are no longer wondering if it will happen. You are now in the season of witnessing. You are now in the hour of manifestation. The blessing has crossed dimensions. It is moving through time with power. And now that interference has been exposed and neutralized, your name is being carried on winds of prophecy. You will be mentioned. You will be remembered. You will be rewarded. And all of it will be undeniable. Not because you fought, but because you trusted. Not because you forced anything, but because you remained faithful even in the delay. This is the final test before elevation. And you have passed. You did not retaliate. You did not lower yourself. You did not abort your process. And because of that, you are now being positioned for restorative glory. This is the moment heaven hath been waiting for. This is the turning point in your narrative. This is the chapter where peace returns, power rises, and provision meets you face to face. Everything is shifting in your favor now. Type "My blessing has been released" in the comments. Blessing code 8888 is raining down accelerated restoration and prophetic confirmation. Now that you've heard the message, now that your spirit has absorbed the weight of the truth, Archangel Michael gives you a divine command. Respond. This isn't just a message to consume, it is a message to activate. You have crossed through revelation, warning, interference, protection, empowerment, and now resolution. But heaven requires a response. Because spiritual alignment is not passive, it is participatory. The moment you engage with this word, the moment you open your mouth, or type your affirmation, or declare agreement aloud, you enter a covenant moment. And Archangel Michael reminds you, this covenant moment opens doors that no man, no jealousy, no sabotage can ever shut again. It's time to stop waiting for change to happen to you. It's time to start commanding the change that heaven has already approved for you. You must declare your acceptance of the blessing. You must speak the words that pull the promise from the spiritual into the physical. There is a realm where your breakthrough is already alive. There is a dimension where your name has been stamped on favor, healing, abundance, elevation. And now, you must bridge that dimension through action. Not just prayer, not just belief, but vocal, visible, unapologetic agreement with what has been revealed. Speak it aloud now. Say, I align with heaven's timeline. Say, I disconnect from every spirit of delay. Say, I receive the transfer. I honor the timing. I walk in divine authority. Because these are not just words, they are keys. Keys that unlock the gates you've been circling. Keys that release the angels assigned to your breakthrough. Keys that slam the doors of interference permanently shut. Archangel Michael says, every time you speak what heaven has said, you add weight to your alignment. You become magnetic to your miracle. Your agreement is not empty, it is electric. And here's what many fail to realize. Delay lingers where agreement is absent. You must not just believe quietly. You must respond boldly. You must demonstrate in both word and action that you recognize this moment as sacred, prophetic, and unrepeatable. And yes, typing a response is more than symbolic. It's a digital altar. It's a visible covenant. It's a spiritual signature that says, I heard the warning. I received the message. I will not go back to what interfered. I accept what was written for me. The act of typing is energy. The act of writing is agreement. And that agreement releases movement. Heaven is watching now. The angels assigned to this transfer are standing by. The seal has been broken. The flow has begun. But to catch it, to step into it, to hold it in your hands, you must be present. Present in your spirit. Present in your words. Present in your commitment to walk forward from this moment in full power, not partial hope. There is no more room for doubt. There is no more time for delay. This is your spiritual appointment, and your voice must match your vision. Type I am ready, I receive, I align in the comments right now. Blessing code 9999 will break through any final residue of resistance. Heaven is waiting for your signal. If this message resonates with your spirit and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks, super chat, or becoming a channel member today. A gift of $10 or more helps us create more powerful content, bring more light into the world, and continue to speak divine truth boldly. Your generosity is felt, valued, and honored. Thank you for being a vessel of light. Archangel Michael speaks now with a voice soaked in divine reassurance. It is done. The interference has been exposed. The energy has been cleansed. The timeline has been realigned. What was once tangled in confusion has now been unraveled by clarity. And you, beloved, are walking forward, not in fragments, but in fullness. You are no longer the victim of delay. You are no longer the target of sabotage. You are the evidence of divine favor. You are the echo of prophetic endurance. You are the chosen vessel that carried peace through war, stillness through storms, and grace through betrayal. And now, you are the revelation. Let them whisper. Let them stare. Let them wonder how you survived what was designed to break you. Archangel Michael says, they interfered with your transfer because they couldn't comprehend your transformation. But their misunderstanding of your process does not disqualify your promise. They never had the authority to close a door God opened. They never held the key to a gate sealed by prophecy. Your interference did not destroy your destiny. It revealed it. Because every whisper, every twist of truth, every moment of resistance simply confirmed how dangerously anointed you are. The enemy doesn't war against the weak. He wars against the chosen. So lift your head now, not in arrogance, but in assurance. Walk forward, not in fear, but in faith. Because the final word has already been spoken in heaven. You made it. You passed the test. You kept your soul intact while your world shifted. You kept your voice sacred when you were falsely accused. You kept your alignment when confusion tried to invade your mind. That kind of restraint moves mountains. That kind of posture shifts atmospheres. And that kind of obedience invites favor so loud, it silences every critic in your shadow. There is peace surrounding you now. Can you feel it? Not the kind that tiptoes. The kind that saturates. The kind that settles into your home, your thoughts, your finances, your future. This is the peace that heaven promised. This is the reward of holding your position while interference danced around your crown. Archangel Michael declares this truth over you now. You are light in human form. You are walking revelation. You are the prophecy that interference could not cancel. And no matter how long it seemed delayed, it has arrived. Remember this. The battle was never just about the blessing. It was about the becoming. And you have become everything heaven designed. You have become spiritually unshakable, energetically guarded, emotionally refined, prophetically recentered. You no longer need to seek vengeance. Your glow is enough. You no longer need to chase explanations. Your presence is the answer. You are the evidence that when heaven ordains something, no earthly agenda can undo it. You are the proof that silence can roar louder than retaliation. You are the fulfillment of a promise made in secret, now ready to be revealed in public. So let your next steps be soft but sure. Let your decisions be quiet but powerful. Let your boundaries be firm and unapologetic. And most of all, let your heart rest, because the weight you carried for so long is no longer yours. The interference has failed. The blessing is moving. The time is now. And you, beloved, are ready. Type "I am the evidence of divine promise" in the comments now. Blessing code 0000 has sealed this word over your life with irreversible favor and supernatural clarity. This is Archangel Michael's final word on this matter. You are not a victim. You are the vessel. You are not broken. You are rebuilt. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. You are not waiting. You are walking. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop what has already begun.